You know, just when I think I've seen it all, I come across a position like this and it blows my mind. This position is truly amazing. So, before we talk about this position, there's two things that you have to understand. There's one specific type of endgame with a king and a pawn against a king and a queen. And there's something you need to know about the FIDE rules of a drawn game. So, I'm going to explain those two things first, and then we're going to take a look at this position, and you'll be able to appreciate just how amazing it actually is. All right, so first thing I want to point out, I'm looking at the FIDE rules of chess. This is Article 9, where it's talking about when is a game a draw. And I'm going to scroll down to 9.3, okay, right here, 9.3. The game is drawn, and then it's telling you when is it a draw, okay? And basically, if the player claims it themselves, and then this is kind of the important part, okay? The last 50 consecutive moves have been made by each player without the movement of a pawn and without any capture. Okay, so that means no pawns can have moved forward and no pieces can have been captured for those last 50 moves. And if that's true, the game can be claimed a draw. Okay, so I want you to keep that in the back of your mind, and I promise this will make sense at the end of the study. Okay. All right, now before we go back to the puzzle, you also have to understand this basic endgame. Well, I say basic, it's kind of an intermediate level endgame, I would say. White has the pawn trying to get a queen. If White's able to get a queen, obviously it would be a draw because both players would just have a king and a queen. So Black needs to figure out a way to prevent White from getting a queen. And because they want to move their king, closer and then eventually take the pawn. The general process, the way that you do this as a Black is you continue to put the king in check and move your queen closer as you do it. Okay, so check, check, and eventually check. You get this position where you're attacking the king and attacking the pawn, so White has to go here. And now you play the move queen to g6 check, which forces the king to go in front of the pawn, and then you can bring your king forward and take it. Now, I say that it forces the king in front of the pawn. It actually doesn't. And this is a little trick with the bishop pawns. Okay, so this is the file that the bishop is on. So these are the bishop pawns, or the C and the F pawns, however you want to think about it. You can actually just move in the corner, and Black can't take your pawn, because if they take it, it's a stalemate. Okay, so it's a little stalemate trick, which is why these endgames, generally speaking, with a king and a bishop pawn, or a C or an F pawn, they're draws. Okay, same thing with the rook pawns. Let me show you that real quick. All right, so here's an example of a rook pawn. This is a little bonus tip for you. I wasn't actually going to go into this, but same idea is you can keep doing the same thing. And when you get to this position, instead of stepping away and losing your pawn, you can actually go in front of it, because if Black tries to move the king, again, it's a stalemate. Okay, but this little trick that we saw here and we saw here, it only works on the bishop and the rook pawns. Okay, so those are the ones that are drawn. And then if you have a pawn on any of these squares, you're going to lose, because Black's going to force you to go in front of it, and you won't have this stalemate trick available with those other pawns. And then eventually the king's going to keep marching forward and take your pawn, and you'll lose. So keep that in the back of your mind as well. Now, let's go back to this position, okay? And I want you to pay attention. This is a bishop pawn, and so just remember what I just told you, those two things. Remember about the 50 move draw, and remember about the technique, right, for how does Black win when it's a queen against this pawn. Okay, so keep that in mind, and let's look at this position, and you'll be able to appreciate how amazing it is. So it's White to play, and White plays the move f6, trying to push this pawn and get a queen. Now, let's talk what's going on over here on the board. Well, everything is locked up, right? All the pawns are stuck. The knights are actually stuck, except for this guy, which can move here, which is actually an important feature, which we'll come back to in a second. And the queen is pretty much trapped initially as well, but you might notice that there is a path for the queen to escape, like this, or I guess even like this would be an option. So the move is queen to b3 that we're going to look at. Black says, I'm going to get my queen involved here and attack White's king. Now here's an amazing moment in the game. Black has to make a decision, and only one move will lead to a draw, and the rest of the moves actually lose. So if you'd like to pause and then think through, what do you think White's move is to draw the game? Go ahead and do that, and then we'll talk about the solution. All right, well, if you had a chance to do that, the move that White needs to play is pawn to f7, okay? And We will come back to why that is the only move, but first we need to continue with the study, okay? But I'll come back to this. So white plays f7, black plays queen to d1 check, and here comes the queen putting the king in check, so white obviously can't get the queen. So white plays king to h6, black plays queen to f3, attacking the pawn, not letting it become a queen. King to g7. And now, do you remember the technique that I showed you what black needs to do? They need to keep putting the king in check and then eventually force the king in front of the pawn. So that's what's going to happen in these next couple moves. Check, king moves. And when I say check, you can also go here, even though it's not a check, it's doing the same thing, attacking the pawn, preventing it from moving, and it forces, white's king to move back. Okay, check. Queen to f6. Okay, this is the pattern, right? King to g8 and queen to g6 check. Okay, so this is kind of the critical moment. Now, if you remember the study that I just said, I said, well, if this ever happens, white simply moves to the corner and black can't take the pawn because it's a stalemate, right? Well, in this position, that's not true. And it has to do with this knight sitting over here on a3 because white actually does have a move that I talked about earlier, knight to c2. And guess what? Now black takes it. Again, there's a move. And now white just loses because black's going to get a queen. White has pawns to move. It's over. So because of that, white doesn't have this stalemate trick available, which means they have to move in front of the pawn, which means black has time to do something with their king. And if you thought this king was trapped over here, you would be wrong. It actually can escape like this. Notice how all of these squares are open. See that? So what does black do? Well, they start marching their king to a4. Okay, and white has to keep playing, right? King e7. And now you're going to see a little dance here. Black's going to do the exact same little sequence of moves over and over and over to force white's king in front of the pawn so that they can eventually get their king over and take the pawn and win the game. So let's see what happens. The queen's going to go here. It pins the pawn. White has to move forward. If white tries to go back, by the way, then black simply blockades the pawn and white can't do anything. Now black has plenty of time. They just bring their king over and white, has no threats. So the only thing that white can do is play king to g8 to threaten to get the queen. And then black's going to do the same little deal. Check, go here, check. And again, we have the same idea, forcing the king in front of the pawn. Okay. And now black can move the king, right? So I'm going to speed up a little bit because I think you're getting the idea. Black's going to just keep repeating the process and then eventually get this position and move the king again. Okay, keep going. Here we go. And we're going to keep doing this. And I actually want to, let me just do one thing. I'm going to add something here for you to see. And I'm actually going to have to adjust this on the fly here for a second. There's a really long variation here that's covering it up, but I want you to be able to see this. Okay, so here we go. F6 was on move number 1. F7 was on move number 2. And there is a reason why I'm making a big deal about showing you that. Okay, so let me fix it again so that it's kind of more normal here. Okay, so you can see that, and then let's go back to where we are in the game. Let's see, move 27. Okay, so remember, move 2 was when F7 was played. All right, so let's keep going. And black is just doing the same dance. The king is coming over. The queen is doing this thing over and over and over. The king's getting closer. King's getting closer. Here we go. Same thing, same thing. Getting closer. Getting closer. And I want you to remember, we're on move 50 now. What move did we start at? It was move 2 when white played F7. All right, so let's keep going. Here, here, here. And guess what? Black is ready to deliver the checkmate. Okay, if white tries to get a queen or something, black's gonna have checkmate here, right? So for example, queen, game over. Okay, so what does white do? It's move 51, which means after they move, it's move 52, which means it's been how many moves since this pawn was moved? 50 moves. So white plays king d8 and claims a draw. That's it. It's 50 moves. No pawns have been moved, right? Because the only moves that have been happening were with this queen, this king, and this king, right? It was doing this whole thing, and the queen was going back and forth, back and forth. No pawns have moved. It's a draw. Okay? Exactly the number of moves. But wait, if we go back to the start of this puzzle, f6, queen goes here. If white would have said, you know what? I'll move that pawn a little bit later. Let me get my king out of the check first and played a move like king h6, guess what? Now we can go through that whole sequence, but look at this. f7 was played on move 3, not move 2. And so we go da 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 da, 50 moves, or I should say 49 moves into the future. Here we go, and we get to this position. And now on move 52, white is 1 move late. And remember the rule about drawing, no captures. Guess what? Now there's a capture, and black wins the game. So I hope you guys can appreciate just how amazing this position was, right? Like going back here, f6, queen b3, and white has to push the pawn to f7 to get the draw because of the 50 move rule. Otherwise, if they move the king first and then the pawn, they're half of a tempo too late and they lose the game. Absolutely amazing stuff. I mean, when I saw this, I was like, I can't believe that I just saw that. So, yeah, I hope you guys appreciated that. And yeah, I mean, wow. Well, hey, if you enjoyed this video, I recommend you go watch this one next, where I talk about how to win with a king and a rook against a king and a knight. But as always, thanks for watching. Stay sharp, play smart, and take care.